Blackburn Rovers return to EFL action this Halloween weekend. Of course, standing in the way of the scary Tigers, who have reached a bit of form. But of course, Rovers could actually return to the automatics with a win and a little bit of lady luck. Can we do it? We'll take a little look. No! I'm from Burnley, mate. Right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Looking forward to Blackburn Rovers match up against Hull City over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button back to all things Rovers related, Halloween related, World Cup related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Rooski. Things are starting to get back into shape here on the channel as, of course, the World Cup approaches. But, of course, all eyes on Hull City versus Rovers this weekend. And we'll take a little look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, people shout out to my VIPs. They are the pictures. You know who you are. And, of course, make sure you give it a bit of love to the channel. So here we go, then. Preview. The first preview in a long time since the old COVID, but I'm back. And, of course, it's Halloween weekend. What a weekend to be back. So here we go. Then, shall we? Of course, Hull City up against Rovers. Take a look at the coaches then. Andy Dawson is in the hot seat right now, and he could actually win himself an actual job. He's got himself in a bit of form right now, 0.94 points per match at the moment. Meanwhile, John Dunn Thompson's more than 1.68 points per match so far, doing A-OK at the top of the table. Meanwhile, the most valuable player, according to Transfermarkt, is Jacob Reeves for Hull City. Right back, centre back, whatever you want to call him. As for Rovers, of course, it is big bad Burton Diaz, who has started to score some goals once again. He's going to get double digits, surely. Meanwhile, the value of the score, £56.79 million for Rovers, £50 million for Hull City. We have an E value of £2.18 million compared to the 1.47 of Hull City. Down the foot there, 18 foreigners for Hull, 7 for Rovers, 7 young national team players there for Rovers, just the 4 for Hull, 9 national players for Hull City, 2 for Rovers as well. Let's take a look at, of course, the recent records heading into this match. These two sides have played 15 times in 2008, 4 wins for Hull, 8 wins for Rovers, 3 draws, of course. Hull, though, 50% form for them right now, 1-3, lost 3 and drawn 3 over the last 6. Of course, back-to-back wins, though, up against the Rovers side, 1-3 on the spin. 67% form for them over the last 6, of course, winning 4 of the last 5. Of course, our biggest win, though, over Hull City, 3-0 win, the biggest win in the way, a 2-0 win. Hull City have just scored 10 goals compared to Rovers 16 over the course of those 15 games, works out around about 1.07 goals a match compared to the 0.67 goals a game for Hull City. Let's take a look, and of course, at Hull City, here they come, their form heading into this. Like I said, scored 7 goals in the last 2 games, and they've got a goal scorer up there, Esteban, and we'll see a little bit about him in a moment. But of course, big 4-2 win over Rotherham on the road, 3-1 win over Blackpool on the road. Last time they were at home, though, they did lose to Birmingham City 2-0, of course. So we'll see which Hull City shows up. Meanwhile, what about the Hull City that'll be taking on the rest of the best? Of course, taking on Middlesbrough this midweek. That's Tuesday the 1st of November. Followed up by, of course, Millwall on the road, Cardiff on the road, and then they'll complete the set before World Cup action against Reading at the KCOM. And of course, returning from the World Cup against Watford as well. Take a look at, of course, their team then, shall we? This is, of course, the defensive line here. Ingram, of course, losing his spot at the moment. I don't know if it's injury related, but Matt Baxter's been the man between the sticks. Figueroa at the back there. Jacob Reeves, we talked about him already. Callum Elder, who could be going to the World Cup himself. Lewis Coyle, Josh Emmanuel, and some other names in there. What about the midfield? Well, they got a big man there. Of course, Sedi's in the mix there. They got Ozan Turfan, Adama Traore, not that one, another one. Palkas has been involved. Longman again. Of course, he scored a goal against Rovers last season, I believe. So, yeah, Ryan Woods, some decent players in there. Up top, they've got the likes of Aliyah Shamadish, Esteban, of course, scoring the goals, Benjamin Tete, and a couple of other faces, of course. But Esteban is the man who has been scoring the goals so far. I think there's a team in there. There is a team in there. Let's take a look at, of course, the best player, though. The best player has been Jean-Michel Seri recently, of course, with a 7.05 average rated. Ingram's up there in top spot there with, of course, the goalkeepers, Greaves, Palkas, Esteban in the Power 5, of course. This is the team I expect to show up this weekend. We've got Baxter between sticks, Greaves, Jones, Figueroa, Coyle, of course, Woods, Seri, Palkas, Slater, Doherty, and Esteban for the time being. No Tursfan. I don't know if he wasn't featured last time, but of course the majority of this team was the team that won against Rotherham on the road. So I do anticipate them to come back out with their tails up once again. Take a look at the stats then. Esteban 8 goals, Turfan 3, Longman 2, and Christie has got 1. Slater's got 6 yellows, 4 for Greaves, 2 for Palkas, and 2 for Woods. Reds none so far. Let's take a look at the stats though, where the goals and all that kind of stuff come at you from Hull. 14 of them through open play, 4 set pieces, 1 counter attack, and 1 penalty. Their attacking preferences, 40% of their time is areas coming down the right, 37% down the left, 23% down the middle. As for, of course, the action zones, 44% is in the middle third, 25% moving forward, and 31% in the defensive third there. Of course, when taking a shot, 15% down out of the side, 69% down your middle, and of course, 45% of all the shots are in the 18-yard box. Kicking off, let's take a look at the opposition, of course, and the blue and white halves. It is Rovers. Rovers form pretty good over the last three, pick up three consecutive wins. Of course, there is a defeat in the mix there, of course, losing to Wigan at the DW. Moving forward, of course, heading out of this game, Coventry City on the 1st of November. We'll talk about that game a little bit at the back end of this show here. Rovers then take on Huddersfield, West Ham in the Cup, and then, of course, the derby against Burnley. Some big games in the month of November before the World Cup comes. And, of course, we return to EFL action against Preston North End. So a bit of a Northwest derby fest for Rovers. Hopefully we can get some points out of that as well. Take a look at, of course, the team then, or the squad, should we say. Of course, pairs Kaminsky number one, fantastic recent form. Dominic Hyam, big man at the back there, alongside, of course, Hayden Carter, Scotty Wharton, and young Ash Phillips. Meanwhile, moving forward into midfield, the likes of Tyler Morton, Dacarina, will he feature? We don't know. Travis, of course, captain. Adam Morton been surprised as well. And, of course, up front, we've got Diaz, we got Smolic, Gallagher, and, of course, Hurst may even get another look in this weekend as well. Let's take a long look at the stats then, shall we? Damian Ayala has been the main man. Kaminsky up there, alongside Morton, with Travis and Hyam in the power five. So some good representations in there in the team. This is the team, of course. We've been playing with a two up top and a back five recently, so I'm going to go with this. Kaminsky, Wharton, Hyam, and Carter. Of course, they won. The majority of this team won last time out, but defensively, there's a little bit of concern with maybe some weak links. But Carter filling in for Ayala. If Ayala's fit, of course, I think that happens. I think we make that move. Of course, Britton as well. Britton could feature on the right-hand side in place of Hedges, and if so, Hedges may feature in the middle there, or maybe in place of Gallagher, I don't know, and Pickering on the left. So that team, we get Kaminsky, Wharton, Hyam, Carter, Pickering on the left, and Hedges on the right, Travis, Morton, Wharton, of course, who got a goal, you can't drop him, Diaz and Gallagher, with Dak hopefully being on the bench at the very fucking least. This is, of course, the stats then, of course, Diaz got 8 goals, Gallagher's got 3, Donald's got 3, Dak has 2. As for yellows, Travis has got 5, Gallagher 4, Brereton and Morton both got 3. No reds so far. As for the goals, then 15 of them through open play, 5 set pieces, 1 counter attack, 1 penalty. When attacking, we prefer the right to the left hand side. Of course, in the action zones, 43% of the time in the middle third, 34% in defensive third, and 23% in our opposition third. As for the shot directions, 29% of the time is on the left, 12% down the right, and 59% down your throat. As for shot zones, 56% of the time is in the 18-yard box, just 5 in that Bradley Dack zone, which, of course, we'd love to see that increase, wouldn't we? Let's take a look at the home form versus the away form. Of course, we'll see that in the table as well shortly, but Hull just 1 win in 5 over the last 6 home games, or 1 win in 5 in the last 5 home games, so it's not great home form for them. Meanwhile, Rovers, of course, away from just 1 win in 4 for them, of course, most recently picking up a 2-1 win over Middlesbrough at Middlesbrough, so we'll see about that as well. Take a look at the last 6 then, shall we? Of course, the last season, the last time these two sides actually played was over at Hull, the rescheduled game that was originally scheduled to take place on Boxing Day, ended up on the 19th of January. Hull came on top. Honeyman and Tom Eaves. Tom bloody Eaves. He doesn't score goals. He bloody does it against us. We did beat them at Ewood Park, though, 2-0 there. And prior to that, we'd actually won 5 in the spin, both home and away. Take a look at, of course, the form then over at the KCOM. The last 6, of course, 2-0 when it was for Hull last time around. Prior to that, an unbeaten run of 3 games there for Rovers, a couple of 1-0s. Just take a look at the form then, heading into this match over the last 6 games, both home and away. Rovers sit in 5th spot. Hull City are actually in 9th. Of course, again, that's both home and away. Of course, the home form, though, Rovers are top of the table with not only, actually, we're joint on top with Swansea and Millwall, but we've got scored more goals in the last 6 games than everybody else. So fair play to Rovers. How about the away side? Away form for Rovers is pretty shit. In fact, let's go back, take a look at Hull. Hull's form, actually at home, is pretty wank as well. Down there, 20th spot for them. Not great. Rovers away form is 18th. So it could be a draw. Could be on for the first draw of the season for Rovers. We'll see about that shortly. Of course, take a look at some stats and figures there for the Championship as a whole. Possession-based side, the best is Burnley at the moment. Swansea, Norwich, West Brom, and then, of course, Middlesbrough. As the most aggressive, Sunderland lead the charge on that with 41 yellows, 1 red. Swansea, Cardiff, Middlesbrough, and then Sheffield United get the complete set there. Aerial duels, Wigan lead the charge there. Preston, Reading, Middlesbrough, and then Watford shots per game. Sheffield United, of course, running away with their 15.3 shots compared to Stoke, West Brom, Norwich, and then Millwall. Pass accuracy, Swansea, Burnley, Norwich, and Rovers are up there. Of course, QPR as well. What about, of course, what's going on elsewhere this weekend in the Championship? Take a look at this. Of course, all kicking off on Friday. That's tonight. Of course, Birmingham against QPR. Then, of course, couple of early kickoffs over in the Championship. Bristol City against Swansea, West Brom against Sheffield. Tonight, which way will the points go on that? Into the 3 o'clock games, we have Luton against Sunderland, Cardiff against Rotherham, Wigan against Watford. Of course, but the game of the day is at the KCOM, and it's Hull City against Rovers. We will have a watch along. We may even have a vlog, and hopefully we'll have some reaction as well from the fans as well. Burnley against Reading, of course, Preston against Middlesbrough, Huddersfield against Millwall. Then we've got Norwich against Stoke, and Coventry against Blackpool. That's right. All coming at you this coming weekend. Take a look at the table. Of course, we do sit in third right now, and of course, a win and a little bit of luck, we could go back top. We'll see about that. Hull City down to 16th, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 10th in the table. Is that tight? All over the place. But of course, Rovers just need to keep on doing their thing at the moment. Meanwhile, of course, this is the journey so far. Rovers were top for a little bit. Of course, had a little moment outside the where are we? We had the hollow square. We had a little bit outside the playoffs, of course, but we're right back in it right now. Hull City are on the climb, of course, after recent results, so we'll see if they can continue that as well. Let's take a look at the goal scoring charts. This is what they have right here. Esteban with 8 goals so far. Diaz with 7. Of course, who's going to come out on top with the golden boot? Sargent there, of course, up there. Clinton Morris, Willock, Wells, Stewart, Hogan, McBurney, and Ndiaye. Of course, as for the assist, Thomas, Cheer, Dolan up there, Barcelona, and then Clark. Correct me if I'm wrong. What about the score then? Of course, is the all-important question. Which way will we go? Of course, I've been back in draws recently, but nothing's come out smelling of roses. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win here for Rovers. I think it's going to be a tight game, tough game, and you know what? We can lose this game. It's very, very losable, very, very losable. So, but I'm just going to give it to Rovers. Gallagher and Diaz are on fire at the moment. They've seemed to come up with a way to score goals right now. And the back 5 seems to be doing enough, but not really enough to keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for us. Let me know what you think about the game and, of course, what you expect from this match as well. And now before we go, of course, make sure a big shout out to, of course, the sponsors of this video, Blue Rose Capital. Thank you again for your support, backing the channel, and appreciate your love here at Blackburn Overseas. So again, until then, it is Halloween this weekend, so make sure you stock up on your treats, and of course you stock up on your candy and sweeties and all that kind of stuff. But of course, what we really want to see is a victory for Blackburn Rovers this weekend. Can we do it against them scary looking Tigers? Oh, of course, overtake them ugly, freaky looking Dingles. We'll take a look at that and more next. Ooh.